Thank you, General. Ladies and gentlemen, I can only add widely among friends. As the General said, he is one of my closest friends on the continent. And I intimated to him that if there should be interest, I will myself be keen to serve the continent of Africa. Mainly because as a Pan-Africanist, I believe strongly that Africa is playing in a league that it should not play. That Africa deserves better. Africa is we can say, the cradle of humanoid species. The first human who walked on this earth was an African. And Africa is also the cradle of human civilization. The Africans started using steel and steelwares before any other human beings elsewhere started doing so. Africa is the richest continent on the planet Earth in terms of minerals and general raw materials. It is a paradox that the richest in terms of resources is also the poorest. This is something that we need to reverse. And it can only be reversed if we as a continent marshal all our resources for the faster socio-economic growth of our continent. And African economies can complement each other. I have served the AU in the capacity as infrastructure high representative. That position gave me a good advantage to be able to learn about each and every African continent, country, what they have, the comparative advantages, and so on. And I believe that working together with all these countries, we can be able to emancipate Africa. There is right now brain drain out of our continent. It is also actually appalling to see young African people drowning in the Mediterranean in search of greener pastures out of the continent. This is something that can also be reversed.
Those are the ones that can get to the Mediterranean. Some perish on the Sahara.
Yeah. So before they get to the Mediterranean. But all the same, the fact is that they end up all dying. It's a tragedy that ought to be reversed. And because of all these considerations that I am inclined to accept the challenge. Should the leadership of Africa want my services, I am ready and offer myself to be of service to this continent. And I've asked my friend to continue to be a good ambassador and talk to other people elsewhere. I don't want to say much more than that. And therefore today I want to make it public that I'm ready, yes, to go for the chairmanship of the African Union. Thank you. So, yeah. You can come now. Go this way.
I think the beginning is to look at our situation in Africa, or in fact, start on the broadest plane. Look at the situation in the world today. The other day, somebody told me that there are 67 wars that are being fought in the world today. 67 wars. There's so much uncertainty. There's so much insecurity. There's so much instability. There's so much unpredictability in the world. And when you bring it nearer home, Africa, in all these, Africa is victimized because we get the wrong end of the stick all the time. So what can we do? I believe that one instrument that we have in Africa that we can use to our advantage at the community level, at the local level, at the national level, at the continental level, is our continental organization, the AU. And the AU, if it will serve the purpose that is meant to serve, it requires the right person at the right time. And this is a time that we in Africa, and working with the rest of the world, we need to get AU to be what it should be. They are doing what they can do, because AU got me and two, a sister and a brother, to look at the situation of Tigray and the federal government of Ethiopia. But there's a lot more that is wrong with Africa today. My own part of the continent, West Africa, is riddled with government that had not come through constitutional means, is riddled with insecurity, is riddled with poverty, unemployment, and you can say similar thing even for this part of Africa. So if in less than a year there should be a change of baton at the AU level, maybe some of us should take it upon ourselves to assist our incumbent leaders to make sure that we look and search and advise. And so part of my visit was really three. One, Brother Raila is a friend of many, many years. What year did we go to Kisumu for the final funeral of
Jaramogi? 1995.
1995. And when I came back and went back to Nigeria, I was charged with treason. Treason not only because they say I wanted to topple the government of Nigeria, but also because I came here because I want to topple the government of Kenya, because I went for the funeral rite of the leader of opposition. Now that's as far back as we have been friends and now have been friends of the family, and particularly of Raila. So, consulting, searching, what can we do? And consulting. Second thing is that not too long ago, I was here with the President of the Republic, President Ruto, and Raila. And we went to Mombasa. Yes. We went to Mombasa, and the outcome of that exercise was 5 each from the two parties to form a committee. And I understand that committee have done impressive work. Of course, in my part of the world, we believe that when you put yam in fire, you must be able to turn it over so that it's not overburnt, overdone. So I want to see what progress we are making in that line. I will be seeing the president, with whom, of course, I'm also regularly in contact. And the third is what I said earlier on. Now, can we be looking? We need a person, man or woman, who has experience, who understand the situation we are in, who comes from a background that can make a difference. And of course, that consultation means now the people that I, from my own understanding of the situation and what I know of Africa, haven't been involved with Africa for more than 5 decades. What sort of people? Some time ago, I was one of those who midwifed, because we believe that people who have held the position of head of government, either at the prime minister level or at the presidential level, will be able to knock at the door of incumbent prime ministers and presidents without much ado. And such people will probably be the right person, armed with other attributes at this particular time. And as I was saying, we midwife Konare in some years back, and maybe at this time we should be looking at that sort of. But whoever we look for must come from a country that is not of extreme in any sense, and where there are no much antagonism against such country. Then when you look at those who have held that position before, I believe strictly it should be the turn of East Africa. Not too long ago we had Southern Africa. The one now whose time will be ending is Central Africa. Before that, as I said, we had Konare from West Africa. I believe it should be the turn of Eastern Africa, or East Africa. And can we find such a person? I believe, yes, we can. But such a person should not be the candidate of his country. He should be the candidate of the region. And if the region can come together and put such a candidate forward, I believe that should be the way we should go. And that's the main point of my visit before I go to attend the AU meeting for the 17th and the 18th. And I have no doubt in my mind that my friend could easily be a viable candidate. But that, of course, is subject to the views, feelings, and, of course, the position and the presentation of our leaders in the East African sub-region. And then if the region puts a candidate forward, I believe the rest of the continent will go along with that. That's what I am consulting about. That's what I am working at, and I hope and pray that God will help us. Africa needs to stand up and stand up firmly. There's so much at stake in Africa today that we need to get it right. Thank you.